What is going on, brothers and sisters? Eric Rosen here, your internal strength coach, here to show you how to overcome your greatest challenges so you can shine your brightest light. It is Thursday, September 27th of 2018, and I wanted to let you guys know that if you're interested in coaching or personal training, everything from fitness to your emotional well-being in your relationships, your health. If your health is deteriorating on you, need some help there. Maybe the doctor's not helping you out quite the way that you want. You want answers. I can definitely help with that. Send me an email, ericrosencoaches@gmail.com. So yesterday I gave a quick little spiel about when finances are tight and like living from paycheck to paycheck and how you can navigate that. And to kind of piggyback off that topic, the thing that came up for me tonight was about the grind itself, more specific about working hard. And in fact, I'm probably going to title this video work hard instead of like work hard, play hard, because fortunate, I guess, for people that like to work, unfortunate perhaps for people that don't like to work with the planet Saturn in Capricorn. It is a time where work right now is totally unavoidable. It's going to be a grind from what I understand from the astrology for a good while now, probably at least a couple of years is what I'm hearing. So the topic point is, if this work is coming, what are you willing to bleed for? What are you willing to, give blood, sweat, and tears for? Because if the work is coming, no matter what, this planet in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, it's going to bring discomfort no matter what. It's not like a comfortable thing. So if you're going to be uncomfortable no matter what, why don't you pick something that your heart is actually going to be into, instead of staying with the same bullshit that that you're either in right now, or the trajectory that you're currently on for yourself. Because you can have discomfort, where maybe occasionally you can get away from it. Maybe you get some breaks in the astrology or something where you're able to kind of like retreat or maybe even numb out, but overall it's still going to suck. Or you can just go ahead and put your efforts, your time, and your energy into something that really matters to you, because it's going to be uncomfortable anyway, and at least you can take solace in knowing that you are manifesting, you are creating something, and therefore that in itself is going to feel good, especially with that energy of Saturn and Capricorn. And then when it's all over, you're going to look back and you're going to be not that it's a race, but you're just going to be in a way better position than the people that are just refusing to fucking put in the work. So also with Uranus and Taurus, that's been there for a little bit, about picking things that really that you really value, okay, to rise to this higher place, this higher vibration of what it is that you really want. So if you I feel like not only if you stay on the same path that you're not gonna like, but you might even get, who knows, I mean, I said you might get some reprieve, but who knows, it might be even more uncomfortable, because you're trying to choose like shit that doesn't really mean enough to you, whether that's on the same trajectory, or you choose a new path that like makes sense to you. Like maybe you're trying to be like, well, I don't like the path that I'm on, so logically I'm going to choose this new path because this is what's going to give me money and security. But if it's not really what you deeply want, you're probably going to get your fucking ass kicked doing that too. So that's why I think it's important to like pick what you really want right now. So change now. Change now. I've been feeling, I always put pressure on myself to get things done, especially like by a certain time period. The pressure for me to go after my my goals, to go after the things that I really want in my life, to go after things that I know is like in my heart, that it's my purpose. Like everybody else, I've let shit get in the way. I've let emotional blocks get in the way. But me and everybody, with whatever, shadow work that we haven't done, or whatever, wounds that are still there, we still got to push fucking forward and go after this stuff, because I'm the king of like wanting to like be like, okay, if when X happens, then Y, then Z can happen, and like trying to line the dominoes up perfectly, and it's gonna feel so fucking great. But there's just no perfect timing, like being a perfectionist and waiting for the right time. And know you've heard this saying before, there is no fucking right time. And actually, contrastly, maybe this is the perfect time. Saturn and Capricorn, like, if you're gonna have to work anyway, so if the work is already in your fucking face and you can't escape it, then why not just do it now anyway? So, I want to say banish doubt, but I don't feel like that's maybe possible right now. That's just a feeling. I think it's more about just, moving through the doubts, and just, I always talk about taking the leap of faith. And I think it's really important. And again, I speak to myself just as much as I do, anybody watching this. It's like an archer, like shooting his arrow, like the arrow, like he's aiming, he's zoning his target. I'm going here, like I'm not going over here or over here. This is the path that I'm taking. This is the place that I'm going to put the fucking work in, and I'm going to face the challenges on this path, and I'm going to manifest on this path. Okay, not, wobbling back and forth, or getting wishy-washy, or again, choosing something that's not really in alignment with what you really want. So, boom, this is what I fucking want, and go for it. So, and aim high too. Uranus and Taurus, like aim fucking high. Like if the work is there anyway, and you're supposed to be aiming for higher stuff, of course. Fuck, I don't know if I'm even pulling a fucking bow and arrow back right. I don't know, but aim high, aim fucking high. Just one. I heard this somewhere. It's like pick a target that like people think is impossible. I'll be honest. Like pick a target that you think is impossible and aim for that shit. And the stuff that would make people be like, yeah, right, dude, there's no way that can happen, and even laugh. Because, who knows, maybe you don't get to that trajectory, but maybe you get 7/10 of the way there or something. I don't know. But if you were aiming for the impossible anyway, is 7/10 of the impossible, that sounds like it's still probably pretty fucking good. So, put in the work, and just believe that it can hit the mark. So, I'll be honest, I had some coffee today, a little bit jazzed up, so wasn't like totally clear on getting like with the channeling. So I just drew a tarot card on this, and what I got was the Page of Cups. So looking at that, I think this is probably reflective upon a lot of people that I feel like I've talked to lately, where probably considering maybe some creative undertaking, which is good, because that's the creativity flows from the heart space. So, and that the subconscious mind might be trying to send you messages right now, maybe in your dreams, or maybe synchronicity of people showing up. I will say that I talk about picking a target, but I think that there's still right now a thing going on where you're still trying to decide what that target is. Like, for example, I just mentioned dreams and synchronicity with people. I had, this dream where it kind of like I felt someone was asking me, like a manager, like a boss, asking me to do something, like look something up, and there was just this like feeling of like feeling like an errand boy, and just like going to do it, and it didn't feel good. And like I know that about myself, like deep down, like in my DNA, like I'm through and through like somebody that's not like cut out for middle management of any type, or I really have never done well with authority. So ultimately, I think being someone that does something for myself is probably in alignment. But then conversely, I had this encounter with some people that was just by chance, where they were working in the IT industry, which I considered, maybe tapping into that because it's such a growing market, and maybe just, doing that as like a foundational thing, as opposed to entrepreneurial work, anything that supplements the income, as this business that I'm starting with the personal training and the coaching, where like those people are coming to me, but it's just not like fully there yet. So there's like still other like ways to like make an income, make a living right now. And so those two things are kind of like clashing with each other. On the one hand, it's saying, no, don't go put on the uniform or whatever and like do what everyone else is like doing, like chasing, getting into the security IT industry, which is a booming thing right now. It's, saying like maybe be your own person. I don't know. They're kind of conflicting, because I bump into these people, they're talking about it, I'm asking them questions, but then I also had this dream about not wanting to be in it. So it's like, what do you do? But Page of Cups, also like choosing your, I think this is probably the most important part that I wanted to get across, because it's been coming up with other people I've been talking to, is about choosing your intuition, I think, over your logic right now. Because a lot of people I talk to are talking about, well, but what about money, what about my security, what about the bills that I got to pay and stuff like that. And I get the sense that the people that that I'm hearing from, like, they're thinking about making a move. Like, there's something, they're realizing their unhappiness and they have somewhere they want to head, and they're thinking about it. But I'm worried, because I wish that everybody could ascend together, but I don't think that's probably going to happen. Like, there's just some people that are going to have to like learn the hard lesson later on about this ascension process in their lives. But I want them to ultimately, take the leap and trust their gut, trust their heart, and go for it, which is something that like I'm in the process of doing. And it's not easy, especially when you spend your entire life being logical and thinking from that mindset, and then later on in life you kind of have this little bit of this awakening process where you start to realize that things like feeling what's in your heart and going by feeling and intuition isn't just like some airy fairy thing or stuff for the kids, like imagination and dreaming, and just like having like, well, I just had this gut feeling that this is where I should go. It gets kind of kicked around in society that's very like thinking on a linear scale. So again, yeah, like this card, it's about intuition, it's about dreaming, it's about imagination. And it also mentioned even in the darkest moments, that there's like a ray of hope in there that you can manifest from, which is really interesting, because from what I understand about the astrology, I mean, that's exactly this Saturn and Capricorn thing that's coming. Like, that there is like this some harsher lessons, like harsher realities like coming. Like I said earlier on here, there's going to be like harsh work no matter what, it's coming. So even in these darkest times, like Saturn supposedly gives like a passage, like if you're acting in alignment, if you're actually going for the stuff that really matters, like having the courage to like manifest from the heart. It's kind of like, okay, you need a password or something, like the password is like whatever the truth is in your heart, that's the password. And then Saturn, like this gatekeeper, is like, okay, you can go now, I'll let you enter, you know, and that's where you can manifest from. That's the ray of hope with this card. So I hope that helps you guys. You know, I just thought this was a nice segue following, you know, this harsh reality of like you know, money situations right now, is that, you know, especially if like you're in that area and you're, you know, everyone's like probably looking at their money right now and, you know, thinking about undertaking, you know, some creative project that is from their heart. It's like, go for it. Fucking go for it. I mean, I've been hearing that all year now, and there are still lessons and there that come, you know, with trusting that. There are still doubts that come, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like, I'll never forget this, you know, like reading this article about a nurse that they interviewed that was cared for terminally ill patients, and then like they ask her, you know, like what are the top, you know, like regrets that people have, and it's always like these very heartfelt things, like not spending more time with my loved ones, not going for what I really wanted, doing what I thought I was supposed to do, you know, doing stuff to make other people happy, or, you know, what everyone considered the norm. And God, what, you know, what an awful feeling. And I'll be totally honest with you, you know, anytime anybody asks me what my biggest fear is, it's not like snakes or death or, you know, I mean, yeah, obviously like losing a loved one is a huge thing, but like on a personal level, just like on the inside, it's not fucking going for it. It's not making a huge impact for me personally. That's just my thing, that I know in my heart that I want to make a big impact, like deep down, on people, that I want to build something big, and that if I chose complacency, and this could piss you off or not, mediocrity, I'm not saying that's wrong, but for me it's wrong. Like, that's my regret. That is the thing that I will fucking have on my deathbed, if I stayed down the same path and chose this path of safety and didn't fucking go for it. Like, fuck. Like, again, it's gonna be a challenge anyway, so go for the shit that matters to you really deep down. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. I'm gonna run coaching, personal training. It's available. If you're interested, send me an email, erickrosencoaches@gmail.com. In love and truth, I'll see you guys tomorrow.